All right, guys, we are back with another interview instead of, brain rot gameplays per usual. And today, instead of interviewing an impossible level player, we're going to be interviewing a challenge level player. In fact, this is the verifier of the current top one, well, top two, I guess, allegedly, but we'll get into that challenge level. And that is over.
Я дрифнул уже сказал.
Ты долбоёб?
All right, so I guess then, without further ado, really, we'll just get straight into the introduction questions. So, first and foremost, who are you and what do you do?
I'm OverGD. I'm 20 years old and I play a lot of challenges in Geometry Dash.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, a lot of challenges. When I went through your challenge, boy oh boy, I have the notes here. There's a lot. This is the first time second interview, but first time I've had to scroll through my notes. But have you ever been interviewed before?
Not to this extent. Like I was asked a lot of questions, sure, but not like it being called an interview, I guess.
Right. I'm kind of surprised by that, honestly, because, like you've listed on your channel, your top 5 challenge player, and again, the verifier of, at one point, the top 1 challenge.
But that's how it goes. That's how this community actually goes, because nobody really knows about challenge players. And I'm not really like top 5 in terms of skill, in my opinion, but the stats viewer says it, yeah. So I kind of listed it there for the props to myself,
I think there's a lot of props that come with it. I tried some of these challenge levels. Like, I, myself, am super uneducated in the world of challenge levels, even more so than, like, impossible levels. But I tried some of these. I did know of some of these. Like, I've played some of these challenges, not beaten, but played some of them, namely the the extensive amount of Sukupen circles challenges that there are that you've beaten pretty much all of, by the way. Yeah.
Half of them, but okay.
At least the important ones like Diamond Dance and IC and stuff like that. Those ones, those ones are brutal. But were you surprised to be asked for an interview?
Honestly, yeah. Like, I've never been straight up asked to do that, because I get asked a lot of questions in DMs. Like, I have open DMs, and like people always ask me to verify their challenge. That's why, like, the first thing I see a random person just slides into my DMs, that's 99% chance it's like, verify my challenge, bro. It's harder than VSC trust or something like that. It's like, yeah, annoying.
Yeah, that's a good snapshot of how this community can be, with people who get some kind of attention from doing something. Everybody else wants to feed off of it. But yeah, I guess getting into the specifics. How long have you been playing the game?
That's a kind of interesting. I started playing this game in late 2014 during 1.9. That's kind of crazy to think that I've played this game almost like 11 years, more than 11 years.
You're telling me. I've been playing probably just about as long, if not maybe like a tiny bit longer, but still 2014-ish. Yeah, long time that this game has existed, and long time that some of the levels that you have played have existed as well.
Yes, right.
But I guess with that, what made you want to get better?
I really went the long way, like the longest way possible. Like most of the old players out there. I tried myself at everything. During 1.9, I actually got interested in creating stuff. I was creating a lot of levels. I was so bad at it. I actually like dropped it for a reason, not being good. Then I started star grinding, got into there a bit, and then I decided that the last thing that this game has to offer is actually playing difficult levels, and so I like started playing demons, and now for the past 4 years I play challenges mainly. Yes, that's the the longest way to get there, I guess. Find myself.
Right. Yeah, that's an interesting answer, especially in comparison with Glow. Like a very different perspective, which is interesting. Um, what was your first demon?
Oh yeah, as any buddies from that time, demon. First demon was probably the nightmare. Then like a little bit of lightning road. So yeah, basic stuff. But I think the most interesting one was my fourth demon. It is actually currently deleted from the servers. It was rated back then. It's called Hex Force. I feel like everybody from 1.9 might know this level. It's a secret way demon. You have like a fast ship, and then a mini wave goes up into a secret way. That was actually a fun little to try and practice the normal way, but it was too hard, so I beat it with the secret way as my fourth total demon.
I actually remember that. That was the first secret way I ever used.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny. I guess, yeah, with all of that grinding and time that came after playing such difficult levels like the Lightning Road and the Nightmare, what was your first extreme demon?
I think my first extreme demon is Accu or Optic Daydream, but like Optic Daydream was downgraded from an extreme demon, so I guess Accu. But I still think Accu is an insane demon to this day. It's like too easy. I beat it in like 1500 attempts. It's not a first extreme demon experience you should have, really.
Yeah, that's kind of where I feel with ICDX being an insane demon. I don't know about that. Maybe I'm just an old head, though.
Yeah. You
alright.
rate it very differently.
Yeah, I don't know how it got moved down to insane demon. I really don't. But okay, I guess you know, with that, moving from things like the Nightmare to, you know, having a pretty seemingly straightforward trajectory in climbing up in skill. What was your first challenge?
I don't really know what was my first challenge, because there is like way too many of them. It's probably called Wave Challenge by Darnok, to be fair. And like, I remember playing challenges on like mobile way too many years ago. But the first hard one is surely Medius SHOUTOUT. That was my first list challenge. That was inspired by Firework First Cube, so I was playing a Firework at the time, so I decided, why not? And I beat it pretty quickly.
Speaking of Firework, actually, I've seen, you know, as I was going through your channel, that you committed to playing that level, practicing that level a lot over the years, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, are you still working on it?
Not really. I haven't played this level for years, actually. Like the last video I have on it is my actually last time playing it, probably. Yeah, I've played a lot of Firework from 2021, way before Trick got into verifying it. I think the verifier was at the time was either Sid or even Linkelpiece. I don't remember exactly. So yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Because yeah, when I was going through the timeline, I was like, huh, this is pretty long before Trick verified it. Which I thought was pretty cool. Do you think you're ever gonna end up fully beating it?
I thought of this today, actually, and this level, the thing is with this level, I really love it, and I think that I would save it for last, you know, save the good for last. It's gonna be one of my last levels I'm gonna beat in this game, probably.
Okay. Yeah, I could respect that, especially given the difficulty of that level. It's pretty insane. But
It dropped really quickly.
yeah, I know. Isn't that insane that it was like a, you know, supposed to be a top 1 at some point, got kind of robbed, and then, what, not even a year later, it's like shit falling off the main list?
It's like 30s right now, but yeah. I also had that conversation with my friend. Like, I'm telling you, bro, Firework will never fall out of the top 10, and yet here we are. That's insane.
I bet people are going to be saying that about Angelicide. Oh, it's never going to fall out of the top 10. Boom, top 50. Actually, legacy list.
Probably.
Alright, well, I guess moving on, what is your current hardest? What do you consider to be your current hardest?
Hardest achievement or like demon or what?
I would say hardest achievement, yeah, just given, you know, what you do.
I think 4 of my hardest achievements are challenges. These are Illusion of Hell, then VSC, then Anodyne, and Oblivious. I think I never missed one, right? I think it's pretty accurate.
Okay, and that's, I guess we're gonna get into that in a bit, but that reminded me of a question I have about difficulty in the challenge world, but yeah, we'll get there.
Oh yeah, I can explain a lot of stuff, I think.
Hopefully. I think that'll be a good part, but yeah, I guess last question of this section, do you consider yourself to be good at the game?
That's a difficult question. Like, I feel like in comparison to, as I call them, kids these days, I'm totally blown. Like, I'm never close, but still, I consider myself good at the game, despite like whining about me being stupid and bad all the time.
Well, there's not many people who could or would verify a top 1 challenge, especially.
Oh, there would.
Well, I don't think so. I think it's easy to think that, but when you really look at it, like the amount of commitment that is required to beat something that hard for the first time is, it requires a lot of diligence, and a majority of people would stop at the last 5 feet of that marathon.
Yeah, that's for sure. Beating stuff is kind of way too hard in comparison to getting progress.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who will more than happily get progress on something, but will not commit to beating it.
That's totally fair.
But, I guess before we move on to the next section, I kind of wanted to go over some backstory. So when I was scrolling through your channel, I saw that you started posting about like 4.5 years ago, and your first vid was a completion of Night Terrors. And then, you know, shortly thereafter, Thanatophobia, and posted a few hard demon completions. And then, like, right away started getting a bunch of runs on Firework, like we were talking about before Trick even picked up the level. A little bit of Kinos, stuff like that. And eventually you came to posting, from what I saw on your channel, the first Extreme Demon that you posted was Subsonic. And it was on the list at the time, and you got your first list points from it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about that, like, because, you know, clearly, as you had said before, you beat Extreme Demons before that. What made you want to post that? Like, what was kind of the trajectory mentally through this period of time when you were posting hard demons, insane demons, getting progress on Firework? What was kind of going through your head, you know, like what was the intention there?
I said I beat an Extreme Demon before. That was Acu. That was actually like a couple days prior to Night Terrors. That was my actual hardest at the time. I decided I didn't have a video saved of Acu because I didn't record. for the videos. And then I thought, okay, I'm getting into extreme demons now, and I feel like a lot of people start to upload extreme demons, and that's actually how the list works. That you have a video of the completion, and you need that. So I decided to make a channel like with proper like motivation from my friends. So I just started posting whatever I was playing at the time, and I'm kind of the chaotic player. I play all the things every time, and end up beating only a sliver of them. So I beat 9 terrors that day. I decided to upload that as my first. It's nothing special really. It's just I want to start a channel. Let's go upload. That's it. And then some runs. I only posted stuff that I thought of like was worthy for upload. So they weren't, but that's fine. I just posted whatever I felt like. And then Firework was my main thing. That's why I posted all the progress I got, because it was kind of impressive.
Oh yeah.
And then Subsonic was actually kind of a jump, but I felt that I could beat a main list, and Subsonic was a really good demon to do that. I really suffered on it. Ended up getting the hardest death, like the farthest you can get there. Like one of 3 people to this day, I think, that died there. But yeah, that was horrific.
I feel that. I'm having PTSD. I am nowhere near that good at the game. I'm just beating the 9 circles list right now. And last night I beat Poltergeist, but not before dying at the last click. Twice.
Bro, GG.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel that. But yeah, I guess moving on through a little bit more history, I saw that I think the first or one of the first challenges that you posted on your channel was a little top 70 wave challenge called Medius Shut Up.
Oh yeah, I talked about that. Yeah, that's my first list challenge. It's a cube challenge. That the first cube of Firework just buffed.
Oh, it's cube.
That's just it. Yeah, it's cube.
I don't know why I got wave. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, most challenges are waves, so it's a fair guess.
I don't even think I guessed. I think I literally thought that it said that
That's
in the
fine.
thumbnail or something. But alright, well, yeah, I guess moving into a different section of questions about creating.
Yeah.
Have you made any levels? Obviously, you kind of answered that question already, but have you made any levels? And if not, do you have any desire or interest to?
Yeah, I certainly made a bit of levels back in the day, like in 1.9. All those are kind of good for the, like a first level you make. Most of the people just make like random shit. I just fully committed and actually like had deep inspiration and made my first level pretty good. But then I kind of noticed how I lack the creativity and interest in that fairly quickly. The pinnacle of my creation is probably Jawbreaker, the 9 circles level. Like, I actually stole the idea of 9 circles and then stole the name from another 9 circles level. What a dude. But I made it green, and it's actually kind of peak. It got verified, I'm pretty sure, think last year. Because that thing was like top 10 at the time, and it was verified with the secret way, as everything in 1.9 goes. But yeah, that was my pinnacle level.
Alright. Do you think you'll ever pick it up in the future?
I probably will create a bit of challenges here and there, but nothing too like grand. I'm not thinking about like future levels right now, at least.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright, I guess moving on. Alright, then I guess we'll specify this to just levels and not challenges. If there is kind of a challenge that fits into this category, then by all means, list it. But do you have any favorite or least favorite levels, and why?
So yeah, levels as in demons. Yeah, so my favorite level of all time is obviously Firework. I spend way too much time on it. I think it's perfect, and to this day it has the best balancing of all levels. Only when played on 2.1 though. On 2.2 it's kind of bugged and being fixed weirdly. So if I ever beat it, I'll beat it on 2.1. And the least favorite level, there's no, I don't really hate levels. If a level is bad, I just acknowledge it and don't play it. So the level that I hate the most is a challenge. Is 3 seconds hell and pointer crate. That's the worst creation of the editor, probably.
So, for me and others who might not know what that is, what is it and why was it so bad?
You might know 3 seconds hell. That's the very popular challenge. That thing was made 10 times in a row. And it got beaten by a Russian player recently, and it placed in the top 5 of the challenge list. This thing has nothing interesting to it besides the last 2 of the instances of 3 seconds hell are switched a bit to mess with you, and also it was shadow buffed by locking every click to frame perfect instead of just repeating the same 3 seconds hell. And I have no idea why it exists. I have no idea why it got beaten, but okay. That's how life works.
Alright, yeah, it definitely sounds rough for sure. But I guess with that, what makes a level bad to you? Or on the flip side, what makes a level great to you?
I think it's like fair to speak about the what makes a level in the first place. Like, it's definitely gameplay, the decoration, the music, and the overall vibe of it. I really enjoy the gameplay of the level first. So if the level plays badly, so that's why the level must be bad most of the time. And I really value the song in levels, so if the song is bad, I will probably most likely not play the level. And if the level has specific way too hard choke points, somewhere has difficult, way too many difficult sections scattered around weirdly, like the balancing issues most of the time, or has click sync issues. When the level specifically tries to be click sync but fails, that's the worst feeling of all time. And yeah, I don't really care about decoration as I play a lot of challenges and they don't have deco, and I don't feel that's a bad thing. It's not about being like, it's not a necessity to me.
Yeah, the gameplay is ultimately more important.
Yeah, like more than half goes into gameplay for me.
Yeah, I could agree, because you're playing a game, and if it doesn't feel good to play it, regardless of how good it looks, then what's the point?
The deco sometimes even can like damage the gameplay. Sometimes you cannot see through the heavy visuals,
Yeah,
and that's also a bad thing to me. I hate that.
I agree. Unless it's made, like, kind of tastefully with the intention. Like, I think Booba Wamba's really cool with what it does with the visual obscurity, because it's, like, intentional.
Yeah, it's just a gimmick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gimmick. It's not a problem.
But, okay. Then, bearing all of that in mind, do you think that there is a specific era of GD that had generally better levels? For example, Glow, who I interviewed last time, said that he likes the 1.9 to 2.0 period of creation. He thought that levels generally were just the best or most enjoyable back then. So yeah, do you think there's a specific era that had better levels?
Yeah. I also feel that way for some reason. Like as an all gen, I probably give it way too many nostalgia points to that era. I also think 1.9 had generally better levels, but for different reasons. They're not simply better because they had better gameplay, better execution, better deco, better song choice, or whatever. They had what's like a different factor of being good. They had genuinely original levels that were genuinely created by genius people who thought of that with no inspiration from others. It's not a goofy remake of something like Coveretta style. It's not a 9 circles ass level being repeated 100th time. It was genuinely a level that was built by a couple of talented creators who like pasted their soul in there. And that was matters most in those levels to me. Like Ultrasonic, just a banger. I recently beat T-Man 2 levels. Revisiting those after all those years, it felt amazing. Like these levels are bad for their own like gameplay sometimes. They're kind of weird, but bro, who cares? They're original, they're tasteful, and very interesting to play once you're good enough. That's what like actually drags me back into the game sometimes. The nostalgia I have. So yeah, I agree. 1.9 laps.
I agree. Especially like, man, some of my favorite levels of all time came out during that era, like the original 9 Circles, Death Moon.
Yeah,
a lot of
that, yeah.
brilliant gameplay. Hell yeah. All right. I guess on the contrary, do you like the gameplay elements that were added in 2.2?
I certainly like some of them. Like the teleport orb is, I feel like, what we needed for the longest time. It's kind of a banger, especially on a wave. But some things had not, like, why did they exist? Like the swing, the new swing. I know that I'm just bad at it because it came out like the last 2 years, but I certainly do not like the way it feels. I love the ball copter gimmick that was used a long time before, and why not just make the ball copter like give it a portal and name it the swing and leave the same physics? That would be actually really great. Like some people from other from like having created a long time ago, they can just go back and place a portal in their level and like delete the corridor and remake the deco to the part so it feels good, and that's it. That's the update. But now it feels like it's kind of forced, you know. If you're forced to use this game mode just because it's new, I want to get like props for that for no reason. I hate the new game mode. That's kind of it.
That's fair. Yeah, I think it's pretty much unanimously agreed upon that the swing doesn't feel good. And people, I mean, myself included, when I'm building levels nowadays, I still use this. I still build with the swing copter instead of the swing. Like I'm gonna make the ball version every time instead of the regular swing.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass to build, but it's better.
Worth it.
Why not?
It feels so much better. For me, the enjoyment factor is what matters. So I like the swing can be enjoyable. It's just such a clunky game mode that you have to have such a specific design for it to actually be fun.
Yeah, some levels executed very good, like recently. I played one today, actually. It has 2 swing copter parts, and I don't feel bad for them. They're fine.
I guess with that in mind, do you think that 2.2 was worth the 7-year wait?
Yeah, that's the big question. I don't really know myself. On one hand, like, yeah, we got an update. We all waited for it, and it kind of gave us what it stated originally, except one level. But yeah, we got kind of robbed on one level, but that's not a big deal. And we got even more with the whole editor overhaul and the blast of original mini games that the game now has, which is great. The attention is there, everything is good, but on the other hand, the playing side of the game got robbed because we got a new physics update that broke half the levels on the demon list and more than half the level on the challenge list. I was like a part of the list team right there, and we had to make really harsh choices to stay on the fly with the list and with everything, with the opinions. And the grace period we had, like the first year without CBF, without mods, the game was actually awful to play, and most people just straight up left and played on 2.1. So it's kind of 50-50 on that.
Yeah, I could definitely understand, especially just given, like, Rob didn't necessarily make it clear that he was going to do that. Like, he told us of all of the additions that were coming to the game. He didn't tell us about any of the changes. So when 2.2 hit and the entire game played differently, namely things like, you know, bugs that became kind of standardized gameplay, or the upside down ship, that's one of the big ones. It fundamentally changed.
The biggest ones as well.
Yeah, it fundamentally changed the way that people play the game, and it was completely out of nowhere. Like, that's a culture shock, if anything.
They changed the way how FPS, like the biggest thing that was introduced in 2.2 is the TPS lock system. Like, now you have 240 ticks everywhere, regardless of FPS you use. That actually changed a lot of stuff, and some levels that relied on being aligned to a specific FPS are like 100% broken. There is no way you can play them on 2.2. Moreover, he changed the physics of the cube so that the cube just jumps like with less height. Yes, less jump height. That's it. That's being confirmed. I don't know why. It's a thing. Then the ship, yeah, upside down ship is not a problem. You can like disable it. That's fine. The ship physics is different. The UFO physics is different. It feels different, and it is. And it's so annoying. At least the wave didn't get robbed. Thank you for that.
True. I think there would have been hell if the wave was changed.
Yeah, it's kind of too simple to break anything.
Yeah. Wow, you would think. Somehow he did that with the cube, but...
Yeah.
Alright, well, I guess moving on to the next section of questions I have about playing the game.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of your standout achievements in the game.
Oh, the standout. That's a difficult question. I didn't really think this through beforehand. Maybe one interesting thing was, obviously everybody thinks about attempts when they're playing the levels. It's like a given metric in the game. Once I beat a very difficult list challenge that was like in the top 30 in like a single day with 6,000 attempts. That was like my first attempt world record I have. That was kind of really interesting to me. And then, of course, the IOH verification, how I went from thinking the level was absolutely impossible for humans, not being able to do the last part of the level in like 10,000 attempts, and then still do it after a year or so. That was like the biggest jump for me. The hardest grind was obviously VSC, with the most attempts I've ever taken on a completion, 200,000. That level was also impossible to me in 2.1, as in 2.2 it's a bit easier, and a lot of people noticed that, so I went for it and actually scored with that. That was really impressive to me, that anyone can like think the level is impossible and then just straight up do it. Not without much problem, but yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah, that's... Also, I somehow died on 99 on Sonic Wave. That's an achievement of my own.
I saw that, yeah.
That's really hard to replicate. Like, if you're not like, if you have eyes and like hands, you'll probably like never die there. But sure.
Well, tell that to Mafui.
That's kind of it. I don't have any standout achievements. Like, everybody knows about my achievements because I post them. That's it. I don't have any secrets from anybody.
Well, maybe not necessarily secrets, but we could go through some of them. There's some of these that I am curious to know a little bit more about. I guess just going through, yeah, I guess given all of the Sakupin Circles challenges that you have done, what kind of drove you to play those challenges and like the silent club step challenges and stuff? Like I think you've beaten Final Destination or one
Yeah,
of
yeah.
those.
These are kind of like popular challenges. That's mainly the only reason I beat them. I am really bad at Succumb to Circle challenges. Like I'm so bad. People do them like every day, and I feel like I'm actually the worst person to ever touch them. I beat I'm Blind in like 20 something thousand attempts. This is like actually laughable. And I will never do like anything more than that. And I feel like I even fell off at those. Like the double clicks are so scuffed. I don't know how I did that. And yeah, about silent clubstep challenges. Yeah, 8 jumps of hell is like too iconic for me not to try. So I beat the twice in a row thing, but I fluked from like jump 13 out of 16. So I fluked the 3 jumps. And that was crazy to me. I played that level on and off with like breaks for half a year every time. So I beat that in one session. That was kind of fun. I will never probably try to finish like Final Fantasy. You know, the challenge where you have to beat 8 jumps of hell 4 times in a row.
Yep, it's the pink
32
one,
jumps.
right? Or something like that?
Yeah, the pink one, it's in the top 5 right now. I've played that a lot, and I actually don't think I have the perseverance to grind for that long. Like, there is no way without a grind, for me at least, so that level will never probably see on my channel. That's for sure.
That's fair. Doing that many frame perfects or near frame perfects in a row is just brutal.
Yes, for sure.
But
Also speaking about the achievements, I really forgot. Like I have a bit of a fluke. I think my biggest fluke I have is like some extreme demon innards from 39%. That's my biggest fluke.
I was gonna bring that up because to me that's really cool. You can imagine. I stopped playing the game when innards was like the current top 1 prospect besides Tartarus, but I stopped playing at the time that people thought it would take years to beat Tartarus. And yeah, innards this was pre-nerf innards that I am thinking of. So granted, probably a different version than what you played, but yeah, like I thought that was
the nerf one, of course.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool and impressive that you fluked innards, regardless if it's nerfed from 39, because it still ended up being a very difficult level and a very legendary one to me.
Also, I fluked like all of my current hardest achievements, really. Not the achievements, but like hardest in terms of challenge and a demon. I fluked my hardest demon, Cobwebs, from 74. Considering how unbalanced that version was, the hardest part was 70 to 100 by far, and I fluked the entire thing. And like to mess with me, Karma like gave me no clicks on completion. So yeah, if nobody believes me, that's okay. But yeah, I have a video with no clicks on my channel, Silent Demon. And also I fluked Illusion of Hell really hard. I fluked it from 84, which doesn't seem that much, but 85 is such a hard click, and the level is so mentally difficult. I don't really know how I did that. That's one of the hardest flukes for me.
Yeah, so I guess speaking of Illusion of Hell, why don't you kind of break it down for me? Like, how did you even get introduced to the level and start playing it? And, you know, why did you commit to the full completion?
Yeah, that is a big one in my story for sure. I actually started like last year. It's gonna be like last year from completion, I think. Yeah, 2023 or 2024. Yeah, 2024 late, I think. I spent actually 12k attempts to do 78 to 100 once. And
my
I
gosh.
have a clip of that. You will see in April. I will post a rewind video. I will show every clip that I had of it during the time. But yeah, that's kind of a spoiler alert.
A
Yeah, I
insider
called that level
information.
impossible. Yeah, a bit of like information. Then I proceeded to start trying the hardest part of the level. That was 57 to 67. That like long teleportation for them speed mini wave. That took me another 10k just to like realize what to do, like where to go and how to click. That was honestly like brutal. Also, I kind of skipped the part when I actually got introduced into the level, but this level came out 8 years ago. It was actually on a challenge list on the #1 once, 8 years ago. Yeah, still #1 today, funny. This was hack verified, obviously. Nobody cared enough. It got removed. Then some people got progress, like GMD Omi. They got level in 2 runs. Nobody would think he was close, but yeah, he spent his fair 75k on the level and dropped it, which is kind of fair. And then everything that I already said happened. I picked up the level. It was kind of a half a year break between that. Then I started playing it the year it was verified, 2025. I was trying a lot to overcome myself on the cube part, because the cube was actually mentally probably harder than anything else in the level. The cube is at the pre-drop. It doesn't seem hard, but that part is probably my top 3 hardest, like top 3 hardest parts in the level, besides the infamous wave at the end. But yeah, I was playing a lot on 2.2 as well, with the newer mods that help play the game, CBF and other. But that didn't cut it for me because of the jump height I mentioned. The jump height is lower, therefore the cube is harder on 2.2. And I really hated that. So one day I decided to go for the level unnerfed. Nothing changed, just 2.1 raw, as it stood for 7 years unbeaten. So I did that, switched to 2.1. I kind of had to regain my consistency back because the waves got a bit harder, because no CBF, no nothing. But the cube paid off so hard. The cube got consistent finally, and I managed to get a good try one day. As I said, that was a fluke. That was really unexpected. I was so shocked at the moment that I did that fast. Yeah, fast. All it took was 180,000 attempts.
Oh
And,
yeah, nothing much,
basically
just
like
180
half a year.
years.
Yeah, that's kind of a long time. I have like a whole sheet of my fails and my days, how like the progress. I was keeping progress in
That's
a spreadsheet. Yeah, and I know that I have total of like 350 fails, past 57% from 0.
Oh,
That is when the level gets really bad and really hard.
yeah, that's fucking rough. I should also point out that since recording this interview like a week ago, Over also went ahead and got first victor on a challenge called Vomit Rose. So, bro's the yote. Jesus, 180,000 attempts. It's, that really puts it into perspective the difficulty of something like that as well. Like, well, obviously there's more that I'm going to ask to really enlighten about that, but just hearing that, 15, 20 second level took as many attempts as some top ones. Like actual, like top 1 levels, like full-fledged levels.
Yeah, speaking of that, 180,000 on a challenge, it feels a lot, but a challenge is actually when you die every couple seconds, because it's kind of short and you spend most of your time trying the hard parts when you actually die every second. So it doesn't feel that bad while playing. So taking the same amount of attempts on a demon would feel so much longer and would actually be so much longer in terms of like real time spent. I would say you can multiply the attempts on any demon by 3, and you would get the attempt count of a challenge of same magnitude.
Okay.
That's how the difference goes. So it wasn't like a real crazy grind that some people have put themselves into this game, in this game, but yeah, it's still a big amount for sure.
Yeah. And I guess to help I and everybody else really understand, kind of give us a breakdown of the comparison of difficulty on the challenge list to, for example, like the main list or the unrated list or something, you know, some of the hardest full-fledged levels in the game. How do these challenges at the top of the list stack up?
Yeah, to be fair, that's a difficult question to ask because there's a pretty two different worlds. Like challenges work not the same, and if you really need to understand, there are some people who beat some of the hardest demons and then they beat one of the hardest challenges, VSC. Like where we can agree, VSC is around Slaughterhouse difficulty. So a lot of people have compared it to it. And some people say VSC is harder, some people say Slaughterhouse is harder, and some people that are really talented at spam, they can say that VSC is around Tartarus or something, some bullshit, but general consensus is that VSC is around Slaughterhouse. So guessing by how much Illusion of Hell is maybe harder than VSC, at least for me, I would say Illusion of Hell is not harder than AOD, it's probably around like Spectre, if I could guess, like around 2.2 Acheron or something there. I'm probably way off, but that's just speculation. I've never played any of them. And the current hardest challenge, in my opinion, is Re, and Re might actually compare to Avernus to me, like Avernus type levels. So it's not in the top 5 of the demon list today, which is very, very high. And I doubt any challenges would ever come close to top 3 of the challenge of the demon list ever again. Like VSC was the hardest thing ever done when it got verified. Tartarus was number 1, I think, or like something close to there, and VSC just smoked it. VSC was just harder.
Okay.
And yeah, on the topic of like firework, if we like compare some things below, I think the challenge that I beat, Anodyne, is harder than Firework still. So a number 5 challenge, or what is it now, like 7? I don't know. It's harder than Firework to me personally at least. And a most popular challenge on the top 20 is Sadomasochism. That is often compared to demons like Shiketsu, maybe like it's harder than the Golden, most people say. So it's not that low, but it's certainly, Sadomasochism would be in the main list somewhere. Maybe even top 50.
Wow. Yeah, that's insane. Like, to really comprehend, because the thing with these challenges that I think a lot of people don't realize when thinking about the difficulty of them is that everything is condensed. Because it's so much shorter, the difficulty is condensed. So as opposed to some levels having extreme choke points or sections that are much harder, it's like most of these challenges, pretty much every click you have to be locked in doing it perfectly.
Sometimes it's the case, yeah. VSC doesn't have any hard parts besides the spams, so it's like a bad example to show that. But like a really hard level now, Re, that level requires like way more precision than your standard demon. your clicks are way less consistent just because they're almost 240 FPS frame perfects, like which Re has like 5 of them, and not a single verified level has more than that. For example, Thinking Space 2 has only 1 or like none. What else? Like Amethyst has 1 at the very start. Acheron has 1 at the very start. Like the very first click you do is a 240, then the rest are way easier. But not to say they're easier in general. They require like a minute or more of precision. But the precision there is where it's like much lower. That's like kind of how it goes.
Speaking of Re, actually, I see that you've been working on that level recently, or a challenge.
Yeah.
What has that experience been like so far, and what's the progress?
So yeah, that is the new level that got verified by my friend, Torn49. I was actually watching the entire process the entire time, and that was a secret verification. Only like 7 people had access to the progress he had. And that was his decision to like hide the process. That was actually crazy to watch, because that level it feels impossible still to me this day. I tried to play it like a year ago when it was still in the making. I felt that was impossible. I was like actually doubting him doing that. And yet he succeeded with more than 500,000 attempts spent. He verified it. And actually put the grave on the challenge list. I don't know how to explain. So my experience with it, currently I have 58%, which is kind of a lucky fluke, as I discovered with my consistency on it. And also 30 to 100, like 5 times. This level consists of only 16 clicks on the mini wave, all of which are around 1 to 2 frames on 240. Like, there are a couple easy clicks, some buffers, but the main difficulty comes from those clicks. And there is just way too much. It's way too hard. And especially what actually drove me crazy, like you can actually see the thing if you watch my 2 last streams on it. I got so mad playing it because it was just my head banging on a wall. I'm not good enough at precision to try it yet. So I dropped the level like a couple months ago, actually. My last stream was my last big session on it. I've been working on some other precision levels to kind of get on the pace, and then hopefully this year I can finish it, but I realized I'm not yet there to beat this level. Having the #1 challenge verified and beaten VSC, they're way too different skill sets, and I'm not good enough on precision to tackle Re yet. And that's why I think this is harder than IOH, having verified it. Even though I really want my level to be #1, as every verifier of top 1s ever, but I'm fine with it losing to Re. Like, that level is just too hard.
Why do you think that the consensus has been IOH at #1?
I actually know why. I was at the staff who discussed it, and because of this situation, I left the staff of the challenge list. I left these people. The general idea of their opinion, why they placed it there, because Diamond, whom I know is like one of the top players, he played Re for roughly 10,000 attempts, which is not even close to my playtime of like 150,000 attempts. He got similar progress as they want to say, 48% and like 38 to 100. But in reality, this level gets exponentially harder with each click, and getting there once doesn't mean you can get there again. It may be just a lucky fluke. And Diamond himself thinks he's really close to beating it, but in reality, it's not there. For example, we have one instance of a person beating this level. It's Tor49. Nobody knows this, but as I said, I watched his progress. He got 64%, which is like 1 click away from beating the level. 1 click and like and the release timing. He got that 4 months prior to the completion, and yet he didn't drop it. He played for those 4 months, like non-stop every day. He got like 200,000 attempts more on the way, and he still didn't beat that best in like those months. That goes to show how slow progress on this level can be. And the difference from me getting 48 and me getting 58 were crazy. I actually spent like half my playtime getting there. So that's why I think I understand the difficulty more than those people, but yeah, they decided Diamond feels good to them. And I have verifier bias of some sort. Yeah, I have bias, sure. I say my level is easier. Nice bias. Yeah, I'm just mad. I'm just mad at them. I cannot talk about it like really fairly. We need like an outside looker on the conflict, but that was it. That's kind of my point of view on it. They robbed us of top 1, the actual. They don't realize how hard is it.
I guess with that, tell me a little bit about VSC.
Yeah, that's a whole different topic. It's also really controversial. The difficulty of VSC depends on solely your spam abilities. So the hardest parts are all spams, and because of the spams, the other parts get actually difficult because like you lose stamina and stuff. So in the community, we call it a spam gene. Like if you have a spam gene, that your speed allows you to clear the tight spams there, you can beat VSC with like no problems at all. Because the other gameplay that it has, like the timings, are fairly easy, and actually without spams, VSC wouldn't be on the list. It would be like top 200 challenge. But having spams there lowers your pass rate of them to like 5% or lower for most people, untalented, not spam genes, as we say. And some people actually think VSC is still top 1 because, yeah, it's probably impossible for them because of lack of the gene. And some people beat it in 5,000 attempts or like 10,000 attempts and claim it's as hard as starters or solar flare or whatever. It's very controversial, but it stays on top because we feel like most people do not have that talent in spam, so most people would find it much harder than anything else around it, at least at the time. But yeah, Illusion of Hell is probably harder, just because people who played it said it, like me and Diamond. But that's about it. It's still very, very hard challenge to this day.
Yeah, don't worry, Connix. You can put your dick away. There ain't no need for assaulting today. All right, VSC is still valid.
Yeah, VSC is still really hard, and it takes a lot of grinding for most people. It took me more than Illusion of Hell, actually. Not in terms of time, because it's a shorter level, but more in terms of attempts, for sure.
I guess, moving on from there, I'm kind of curious to hear a little bit about some main levels that you beat, such as, you know, like, the first main list that I saw that you beat was Calwaretta.
Yeah, that's my first main list, yeah. That went really smoothly, actually. I was getting, like, fast, a lot of progress. I got my funniest clip, probably, on my channel, like, Calwaretta, 2 deaths, no clip hack, when I died to 1% and then 95%. That was funny, and then I proceed to beat it really quickly in 30,000 attempts, which most of them died to first click, because it's really hard. But yeah, that was a solid 2-week thing. That was one of my first demons that I beat on stream, and I beat it on stream. Like, I was playing it, and I suddenly beat it. That was kind of cool, at least to me.
Oh yeah, I think that's pretty sick. I also saw that you beat like Stalemate Redux not long after, which to me is pretty cool because Stalemate Redux was at one point at the top of the list, right?
Yeah, it was number 1, but it was like kind of a robbed top 1 because it's not really top 1 even at the time. They kind of underestimated it, like not overestimated, I guess. It was kind of a weird placing, but yeah, it was a top 1 for a couple days, I believe. Also, speaking of that level, actually, it was a part of like series of uploads. That was a crazy stream on my channel. I played Ethereal Artifice. That's one of the extreme demons. I beat it on stream. Then I boot up Stalemate Redux, and on the same stream I clear it, fluking from 50 something 5. And then on the same stream I open D, the challenge, and beat it as well. Like I beat 3 main list things. Like not main list. It was just extended list demons, 2 of them, and 1 list challenge on 1 singular 3-hour stream. That was my craziest probably performance overall.
No, yeah, that's sick. I think that's pretty sick. Like, that's kind of like similar
forgot
to
that.
like what motivated me to start doing the 9 circles list, is because I was just randomly streaming one day, and to me it was impressive because like I never really actually played hard levels, and then I just beat 9 circles and Jawbreaker in like an hour between each other, and I was like, oh yeah, I could do this shit, and then started subjecting myself to CBT. But yeah, so I totally get that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. When you like practice multiple levels at a time and then you beat them in a short burst, that's like the best feeling in the game.
Oh yeah.
But then yeah, it comes back again when you start sucking on other levels. But we all have your highs and lows. That's totally fair.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. Like, again, I think I had probably the most excruciating experience I've ever had in this game yesterday, playing a level called Supernova, and then I beat that and Poltergeist in the same stream, and I was like, oh, hallelujah, we're done, we're good, it's all good, I'm not the worst.
Oh yeah, I'm not the worst. That's always what I'm saying to myself. 'Cause yeah, I always think I'm the worst, but it's not that bad.
It's really crazy to me how no matter how good at the game somebody is, they're always going to tell themselves those kind of things. Like, you are one of the best challenge players in the game. Most people can't even fathom the shit that you've done, and you still tell yourself that you're dog shit. Like,
Yeah, that's the mentality you need to have. Like, you don't need to get ahead of yourself. Like, you have the ego. I could like say I'm the best one, but I can shout out so many people that are better than me in the community. Like, I genuinely feel that way.
I hope
But
that you...
then they think they're worse than me. But yeah.
I hope that you do. I have a section for it later on, actually.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I have a lot of people.
Good, good. Yeah, I guess to really finalize going over achievements and stuff, there is some ones that I was, I guess, curious about. I have heard of this challenge actually, Toxic Blades. I saw that you beat that, and then some other stuff afterwards, and you also beat that challenge at 1.1 times speed, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that was my hardest at the time.
Yeah.
My hardest actual challenge clear was Toxic Blaze 1.1 speed. That was fun.
Yeah, well, tell me a little bit about that experience, like Toxic Blades.
So yeah, Toxic Blaze was my first hard wave challenge. That was kind of a jump from like the easier challenges. Okay, I need to detour a bit. Okay, in challenge community we have like the spreadsheets with the skill ratings. The most popular one on Wave is GDSR Wave. There are challenges ranked on different sections of difficulties. So there are bronze challenges, then silver, gold, emerald, ruby, diamond, amethyst, and legend. Legend is where VSC and Illusion of Hell are, and bronze are the easiest challenges that are on the main spreadsheet, like Corrosive Flower, you may know, CCC, some other challenges that are pretty easy. So I jumped from silver challenge, or even bronze, Kadra, to Toxic Blade, which is the ruby. I've cleared like the double clicks from Sekupin circles, but it's not really a challenge, it's just a part of a possible demon, so that's my first real hard wave challenge. That was a real big grind back then. I took almost 30k attempts and 3 straight consecutive grinding sessions, like 3 days. That was a really refreshing experience. I really felt like I'm on top of the world because it was number 14 on the list. That was like a big jump. That was one of my first list levels to be that hard. And yet I fell in love with the level, so I rebeat it, and then I rebeat it in 1.1 speed. That took a bit of practice, but I think I finished that in like 1 session. Because once you beat the level, beating it at higher speeds is obviously harder, but it doesn't take much time as the first completion because you don't need to learn the level, and the muscle memory is probably still there if you really like practice a bit. Also, I tried another Ruby challenge the other day. I got to the last click of Craven Soul ×2. So I have 2 Craven Soul challenges that is like the same difficulty as Toxic Blades, pasted into the 1 level, and I almost beat that shit. And also I beat Craven Soul on 1.2 times speed. Just didn't upload yet. That's my next upload, would probably be Craven Soul ×2. That's also a sneak peek, probably. Yeah.
Hey,
Haven't uploaded in days, bro.
well, stay tuned for that, y'all. Hell yeah. I guess moving on from all of that, if you had to point out one specific thing, maybe not even one specific thing, but if you had to point out a specific thing that helped you improve the most, what would it be?
It's probably one of the spreadsheets that I mentioned earlier. Like I improved a lot just by clearing a lot of challenges. The other spreadsheet is called CCPL. That contains even more tiers that I previously mentioned. It has like 20 or something of them, going from all the way down from challenges you can clear in 1 attempt to the hardest of the hardest, even impossible challenges. It has a pretty good range and a pretty good amount of challenges to grind. And the way the scoring system on the sheet works, the more challenges you beat, regardless of difficulty, the higher you are. And so that mentality actually like helped, because quantity is always over quality, at least in challenges. And I'm like ranked number 5 there, which is, yeah, again, proves to be top 5 challenge player in the YouTube, but that's not really how I feel, but that's okay. So yeah, I beat a lot of those, and I think I gained the most skill doing those. That is a really useful thing to keep in mind.
I guess I thought that this was kind of an interesting question. With that in mind, like in the world of comparison, not that it's really important, but in the world of comparison to like other players and stuff, like where do you see yourself on the skill tree?
Oh, so like, where do I place in the top of players, right?
Yeah, like, you know, how good do you think you are in comparison to some notable
Quantity,
top
yeah.
players?
Okay, so they're like, I watched one video about like stages of top players and shit, like 7 levels of top play. Like I agree with most of things said there. So I think I'm like on that scale, I'm like level 2 to 3. If you watch the video, you'll understand. But regardless of like artificial scales, obviously on challenge list, I'm like probably comfortably not, like top 10 skill wise, I would say. Like number 7 probably. I would name like 5 to 6 people that are better than me. But on demon list, like considering the entire like stat hero of demon list and other people who play difficult stuff in this game, and seeing how many victors like things like Slaughterhouse get, like things like Acheron get, I would feel like I would probably be top 200, top 250, like just as a guess, probably. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting insight coming from, you know, the person saying it. I like that. Okay,
Yeah.
and I guess moving on from that a little bit, how often do you practice, and what does that look like?
So I am really bad at like focusing one thing. I'm always on the go on trying to find like as many levels as possible that I find fun. I'm like even called myself like challenge list janitor for it. Like I'm playing every shit that comes out, just regardless of it. And I'm actually like the source of the opinions for a lot of levels on the challenge list. A lot of them I guessed right. A lot of them like people get victors and they say the more valuable opinion. But sometimes yeah, I help a lot of the challenge list place levels. So with my practicing, be like change the level every day. I think that's why I'm bad. That's one of the reasons I'm really bad at the game. So, like at least I could be much better if I focused one thing. And while I'm focusing one thing, if that ever happens, I think I practice for like with not so long sessions, with like 2 hours maybe. I try to at first memorize the more of the level I can, like, or learn it in one day, or like split it in a couple of sessions to like utilize the sleep boost you get from just deriving the muscle memory on a level. I'm like very muscle memory reliant player, so I learn levels really fast. I once learned like Nelv in a couple days and Limbo in like 3 days, so I think I'm really good at learning levels specifically. Then practicing wise, I started like realizing that consistency is key. So if you are able to play the level consistently, like throughout the week, with like every day, or like try to play the more consecutive days you can, the better. That's the technique I start to use. And towards the end, when I feel like I could beat a level, I increase the playtime of the sessions to like sometimes 4 hours, sometimes like even 5 hours when it was on Oblivious, but I got really unlucky, and that was kind of painful. Like that last week was crazy. And yeah, so like the whole tips, every tip you can hear, I try to use it. Because like I'm an old ass player, I don't have talent for that shit. Just to grind for like 8 hours. I don't have any ability to beat levels quick. So I try to utilize every trick, every like every idea that comes to mind that can improve my play.
Okay. I guess given the style at which that you play, do you enjoy the game? And if so, like what makes it fun to you?
Yeah, it's also a 50-50 question. Like on one hand, I honestly think this game like is not good, but where you're good at it, this game is not fun because all the levels that you want to beat are so hard and take way too much time and focus, and that's all for nothing. You get like upload and you get like 200 views or something. But I still feel deep joy about like trying out some new levels, and if I found out like a new 10 out of 10 level, I would genuinely feel really nice playing it, learning it, just experiencing it. And that keeps me in the community for so many years, because this game has a lot of levels to offer, a lot of people to interact and stuff. Like we will talk about community, I think, later. So yeah, that's what makes the game fun. And at the same time, sometimes I really want to kill myself, like when I play it. Not really, but like figuratively, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that that kind of gets into my next question though. What detracts from your enjoyment of the game?
Yeah, mostly it's just all the levels that you play. You really have bad sessions. You don't like what you do. And sometimes you just feel wrong. Sometimes you just play less good. And if you spend like an hour in the game, it feels like a waste of time, really. Even though I had like great time with my friends online, I still feel not accomplished. Like the better you get at the game, the less levels you beat per time given. Because the levels get harder, and like take more time, even though you get better with like same rate. But that still is a fact, because like some people can beat their hardest in 1,000 attempts, like a hard demon or insane demon, like range, but you cannot beat a top 10 as a hardest in 1,000 attempts. It's not gonna happen. This game is way too hard sometimes, and it's harsh. Like the boundaries we set on ourselves, like the need of motivation, the constant need of dopamine, just to play this goddamn game is sometimes too much.
For sure. And I guess in specific, while playing the game, do you have a favorite game mode, and why?
Yeah, obviously my favorite game mode is Wave. I'm the best at it. It's the most simple, the most like skill-based gameplay in terms of like the entire precision you have is definitely dependent on the amount of levels you've beaten with similar patterns, like how wave patterns work, how they're easily calculated, how they're easily memorized, how they like split out into parts. I love that about the wave. And this is the most creative game mode. With like simple mechanic, you can make so much stuff that syncs to music and overall flows really well without like it being way too complicated to look at. I think that's why Wave is the most favorite game mode in the game of most people, and that's how it should be.
Alright, and then on the flip side, what is your least favorite game mode and why?
That's kind of a running meme in our topic. Like, I called the UFO the worst game mode, and a lot of people hated me on that. We had like a heated discussion in a VC someday. So yeah, I think UFO is genuinely the worst thing, because every time people try to make a UFO game mode, they make it so that every single click is dependent on the others. So if the timings are kind of easy, even on some extreme demons, UFO sections tend to not be that hard. And they make it so if you fumble a couple of them just slightly in one direction, you will never have a chance to ever pass the part like afterwards. That is so annoying to me that this fact exists, that it makes me actually cry sometimes, like playing shit. Shout out to Shuketsu UFO realizing that.
That's so funny. I have some pretty awful experiences with the UFO for sure. I could agree with with having the very placement dependent gameplay. I do think it's probably the like simplest example of it though. Like the swing and the ship are also very placement based, but I will say with the ship it's more intuitive because it's like based off of holding and it's a lot more precise, but the swing, got it. Ugh. I'll never get over the swing. It feels so bad.
Yeah, about the swing, I think it might be fine. I just didn't experience it much, so that's why I don't state it as my like worst one. Like UFO has been in the game for so long and I still hate it. And the ship, yeah, that's the hardest game mode in my eyes. Like ship needs a lot of practice, same as the wave, but it's more complicated because they have like the momentum play right there, and it's kind of really hard. But I like it. I like the ship more than other game modes, really.
Yep. Shout out to me being ship carried.
Being ship carried in a big 26. Nice.
Wow. That's how you know I was a 1.9 player and stopped playing.
Oh yeah.
But
Chose.
True. What with that, what have you practiced the most? What game mode have you practiced the most?
Again, that's going to be wave, because most of the challenge lists are wave challenges, and I don't really mind that. And that CCPL sheet I was talking about, that was all wave challenges, by the way, and not all challenges in general, just wave. Um, and yeah, I actually put my mind to practicing wave, and I think I succeeded at that pretty well. Also, I tried myself at other skill sets of, or like game modes. I tried a lot of cube challenges. I have an ongoing compilation. I need like one level, and I will upload that. That'll be great. I beat a lot of like difficult cube challenges in preparation to IOH specifically. That was like to gain enough cube precision to be able to do the cube, and I think that paid out. I played a lot of ship too, but I didn't really get anything. My hardest ship challenge is probably way out of the 200. So yeah, I'm lacking that. So I feel like ship is one of my worst. Yeah.
With that, actually, do you think that the skill ceiling has been met for any of the game modes?
Clearly not, because people keep doing stuff seemed as impossible. And I'm actually looking forward to something that comes next, especially in the wave, because I'm like more interested in that.
Right. Do you think there ever will be a skill ceiling?
Yeah, I'm like a pessimist in this way. I think skill ceiling must exist. Sometime in the future, the game will get too hard, and people will stop beating harder levels. It will be because with harder levels, they tend to be less fun to beat. The experience, like the feeling of completion, doesn't negate the like difficult and bad emotions you get while playing, and that will reach the turning point at some point, and people will stop caring this much about $4 cube game. I think it will sometime in the future end.
That's an interesting perspective. Okay. And then, I guess last kind of question within that vein. I would say, generally, like for the community, what do you think is like the hardest and easiest? You know, like what are the polar coordinates of difficulty in the game modes?
I think definitely wave is more it's like more favorable, and a lot of people get good at it. In looking about like the ratio of people getting good at wave and the hard levels that exist that require wave, I think that wave is strongly one of the like easiest to master game mode, because like there's way too many levels. And yes, well, in comparison mechanically, wave bars would be harder, but there's so many good people at wave, so I think that's one of the easy game modes, as well as like game modes that don't require any like different skill than many other game modes, like Vol and Spider. Those are pretty similar, and the Cube as well. Those game modes are somewhere in the middle. Well, UFO, it doesn't have any hard sections that I remember of like any top demons. There are sections, but they're all like sometimes they're the easiest, sometimes they're like in the middle, but never the hardest part is the UFO, because that would be instantly hated by the community. That's why I think UFO is one of the hardest game modes to master, really. And ship is up there, as I said, one of the hardest game modes. But I think a lot of people get good at ship nowadays as well. So ship might be not that hard as UFO and swing, because there are no levels to practice with. Like genuinely, you cannot get good at swing because no levels exist yet. That's about it, I think. Did I forget any? Robot. Oh yeah, robot. robot might be up there with the ship because not too much levels, and it also has the release timing mechanic, which makes it one of the hardest ones as well.
True. Shout out Nullscapes.
Yeah, that's why it's hard, because nobody can do it. Nobody can do robots that well.
All right. I guess moving on from the game mode questions a little bit. How many hours do you have in the game? And if you had to estimate, how many of those hours do you think have been spent on just challenges?
So yeah, I cannot say a count. Like on Steam, I have measly 3,600. That's like nothing by today's standards, and of course, while playing from 1.9, I played on mobile a lot. I would say like a third of my Steam playtime. I also played on PC while not having bought the game. That was funny. I played more time not buying the game than having it bought. That's funny. Like I never spend like those measly $2 on this game. And yeah, when my pirated version broke, that's why I bought it the same day, I guess. If I had to estimate, I have like probably 12,000 or to like 15,000 hours in this game, probably. Out of those, I probably played challenges for like 3.5 last years, probably around 5,000 or 6,000, maybe. Yeah, maybe 5,000 spent on challenges, I think.
That's insane. Holy crap.
Yeah, I'm not as talented as like some people. They can get to the same level as me in 1,000 hours. Yeah, I take a lot of time. I take a lot of attempts on levels because, yeah, I just need to grind. I need to grind a lot to get there.
Yeah, that is
hard.
That is a lot of time. I think I've spent you have spent as much time playing challenges as I have on the entire game.
That's a fair estimate, probably. For you, since like 1.9 was a long time ago.
Yup.
You haven't played much since like the dropping, when you left it, so.
Well, I've been playing a lot more since like November of last year, so a couple months, but okay. And then the last question that I have for this section is, do you think that you will ever reach a personal skill cap, and have you already?
I think yes, it will. Yeah, definitely. I will quit this game someday, and that would be my forever hardest, whatever I beat the hardest at the time. And I think that's probably would be Re. If I actually like complete this level, I don't think I will ever beat something harder. Like I said that multiple times throughout my gaming. I thought Oblivious would be my hardest challenge. Hell no. When IOH I considered the hardest, and then I saw Re got verified. I thought like, okay, this might be the last one. So I might be wrong again, but the hardest challenge I would ever at least try to beat would be either Re or Tremor, which is not yet verified. On Demon list, that would probably be Andromeda. I really like that level, and I would think if I'm good enough, I would try it at least. If I still like it, that's gonna be the hardest thing I will ever beat. So a top 10 right now might be like top 50 by the time. Who knows?
I respect that decision, by the way, specifically with Andromeda. That's like one of my favorite levels.
Yeah, that's so peak.
I guess to get back on track, the next section I have for us is about music. So, firstly, how important is good music to you in GD?
There's like two types of good music. There is like good music, and there is good GD music on the GD level. It's like a different taste to me. So yeah, I would say it's pretty important. I really love the levels because of the tracks sometimes, and sometimes a bad track can ruin even a good level.
This is true. But yeah, with that in mind, does having a bad song make a level harder or more annoying to you?
Not necessarily. Sometimes like bad songs, even though the level is so good, I can still bear it. And sometimes not even the song itself makes the level bad, just the execution of a song. The song can be good, but maybe it's made poorly with this song. It's like off sync and something. That's more annoying. But
Hmm.
yes, overall the song matters.
Okay. Um, do you listen to any GD music during your regular life away from the game?
Surprisingly, no. With like this playtime of this game, I really hate the songs. Like they're all instrumentals. I'm not into it. Like I really like the OST from some other games like Hollow Knight Celeste, and especially recently Clair Obscur. That OST, I love it, but not this game.
So you're more gravitated towards lyrics with music, or maybe a little bit more
Yeah,
developed.
yeah. I like more lyrics or just a different style of music, like Celeste does. It's instrumental, but still I like it more.
Hmm, that's cool. But all right. So the last real section that I have for the video is about the community. And first question I have for you is, what do you think about mods and mega hacks?
Um, that's the only reason that playing this game is so fun, and they carry so much. The challenges, the demons, everything. Everybody uses Mega Hack because it's very convenient and it's actually coded really well. It costs not too much, even though it costs more than the game. But in reality, it's not too much for what you get. It's like deep feedback, the constant like updates, and the CBF revolutionary. Like a lot of modded people who enjoy modded and who make mods, they're themselves are pretty big players. They have a lot of ideas, and I really love the modding scene of this game.
I agree. Um, I guess with that in mind, do you think that RobTop should be more supportive of the modding community?
Um, in terms of supportive, then yeah, he should not probably disturb any of the work like that's being done. He should like acknowledge it's kind of the big part of his game and just not mess with them. But like add the mods to the actual game, probably not, because it would hurt the reputation of the lonely developer that he had and persisted throughout the years. He like explicitly uh, never wanted anyone to help him with the game, so adding any mod to the game unchanged would ruin his sort of reputation in this regard. Uh, but with the recent CBF, people have been saying he should have added the CZ's CBF mod to the game, but that's not really true. He shouldn't. He would ruin the entire thing. But he added his CBF. It doesn't really work well. That's fine. He'll make updates for it. It's alright. Just don't play it if you don't like it. Just revert the game back. That's not a huge deal.
Right. I guess speaking of RobTop CBF, have you used it at all?
It's kind of weird. When the update came out, in like the first couple of hours, people have been testing it out and like sending screenshots of how it doesn't work the same or it bugs out the game, so I just reverted my game back and never tried it. I trust my community for it. If it's bad, people say it's bad, that's it. When it gets fixed, sure, I will try it out, like no problem. I just like my game as it's right now, so I'm using 2.207. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right. I guess moving away from mods a little bit. This is kind of a goofy question, but definitely an entertaining one. Who do you consider to be the current top 3 best players in the game by skill right now?
This question is like the most obvious for the person who sits in a community like recently. There is not even a chance somebody in their still mind would say something other than Zoink, Pop-Off, and Trick. Those are like way ahead of everybody else and have no competition whatsoever. But the 4 and 5 spot are really heated. Like there are a lot of people that I can name there. Servax, A6, Mizuki, Tayago, maybe even East Shark, and who that was again, Quattrocientos. Yeah, a lot of people can be like number 4, Nethermind even. But like, the top 3 is uncontentable. There is no chance.
You know, it's funny you say that because I can kind of agree, but there's also a lot of people who I've asked that think otherwise. I don't think I've asked a single person that hasn't put Zoink in there, but those 2 and 3 spots get moved around a bit. Not everybody
That's
says
crazy.
Pop Off, which
No
is
way.
crazy. Actually, you're the
Yeah,
first
that's
person I've
crazy.
heard that said Trick, which is also crazy.
Oh my god, bro.
I've heard Glow, for example, said, I think Zoink, Doggy, Diamond.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Doggy should be in the other like top 4 contender. Yeah, that I didn't name, but yeah,
yeah,
still.
and
Nowhere near,
granted,
bro.
for for him, he said that he's biased with Diamond because that's a good friend of his. But yeah, you
Right.
know, I've heard other people say I appreciate the East Shark and Quattrocientos representation on your part there because I think those are also good contenders for 4 and 5. But okay, so with I guess in conjunction with that, who are some of your favorite players and why? Not even necessarily, you know, like the best players.
Yeah.
Again, just like who are some of your favorites?
I don't really simp out the players too much because I like, okay, they're way too good. Like, and most of the time they're just ego about it. Like, oh, that's fine being a top 1 like or something. But I really enjoy like the players that inspired me in this game, especially like I can name one who's like probably the favorite player in the player category, and who's a friend of mine, Anix. Uh, this dude dominated the scene of the challenges. He was number 1 for a long time during like 2022, 2023 when it started. I always looked at him like I will never be better than him. This dude beats so many challenges. He's like a chill guy as well with it. He was the first in Russia to beat sadomasochism, the current like top 3 at the time. We verified Stercore, which is also one of the hardest levels that I beat, like one of the hardest mental challenges I had to take. Um, and yeah, and now we sit at VC today, and he made the beautiful levels recently, coming back to the game without like even playing it. Just makes good levels that a lot of the community really appreciate. That's really good. That's really like what I feel now.
Hell yeah. In addition, do you have any favorite creators?
I should really split this up by versions. So in like 1.9, I had obviously the creator of Death Moon.
Oh, funny game. Yeah, yeah.
Funny game, yeah, Caustic, allegedly funny game. Then we have during like early 2.0 is probably Triaxis, or very underrated in my opinion, a creator, Pipe Nacho. I really love his style, even though he makes only easy levels. That's what I played. Like I really like this guy's work. Probably also like Servange throughout the years. This is one of the coolest creators. In the newest era, I would shout out like not even the creators, because most levels nowadays are mega collabs. Nobody makes solos, so the solo creator, probably Kiwi, is really good with like Empyrean and Totem. Those are his levels. I really enjoy those. And as like a mega collab host, Probably Minay, one of the cherry team's hosts, and who else? And Minecraft, I shouted out earlier. He's really good at making unique levels and make them work. Yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Oh yeah, good shouts, good looks. I respect it. But then with that in mind, do you like the community generally?
In general, yes. There are always bad people. There are always good people in every community. But I think this community can be described as very creative, innovative, and like very interested in what they do. Because the developer does almost nothing in this game. It's all driven by community and expected that this game that lasted so long without updates is actually alive and well with 100,000 concurrent players recently. That shocked me when I saw that first, but yeah. And with the player audience being kind of young on average, I think nothing could be that bad about it. Like, yeah, kids are like different, but that's kids, bro. You cannot say anything bad about it. It's just a game.
I agree. And then I guess the last question I have in this section is, how could we improve as a community?
As a person who never does anything influential in a community, I could only say keep it up. Just keep up the good work, keep up the interest, make new innovations like Spotniks, um, like create content, just make levels. That's keep the game going. It's alive by just doing the routine and making it interesting for everybody, I think.
All right. And then, yeah, I guess we'll just get into the closing comments. So, now that the interview is basically over, did you enjoy this experience?
I actually really like this. This allowed me like to express the feelings that I didn't remember or um, didn't try to explain to people. And having a conversation like this, aimed around asking questions and answering them, actually made me realize a lot of things and rethink that as I was trying to answer them. So thank you for that. That was a great experience.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm happy that you enjoyed it and that you were able to kind of change some perspectives in real time, maybe.
Yeah.
I guess with that, how did I do as an interviewer? Were the questions interesting?
Honestly, the questions weren't that even like hard to, I think, hard to think about. Like those are general ask questions, but the fact that there is so many of them and covering like so many different topics, I think they do really well at like understanding the whole picture. And as interviewing questions, they're probably really good. Just nothing out of the way,
Yeah.
crazy. So
Yeah, this is all part of a series, technically. Like, I'm gonna wink wink be interviewing wink wink the guy who wink wink beat all of the Nine Circles levels wink wink soon. So yeah, there's a lot of general questions, but I do like to get into the specifics of, your history in the game as well. I really want basically to create a platform for players that I find interesting to express the things, their opinions and feelings about a game that clearly they're very passionate about, somewhere where it's available.
yeah, that's really cool. I encourage that deeply. But by participating as well. Well,
Yeah. But how can I improve in the future?
I don't really know. You did pretty well. I would say there are way too many questions that are when you answer one of the first questions in a topic, I accidentally cover something like deeper in the thing, and try to like evade some obvious follow-ups and try to avoid questions that are like obvious to answer. Isn't like, do you like long levels, bro? Of course I do not. Like, okay, we talked about it like pretty briefly, but that takes like a precious time. I think that's like what I feel.
Okay. That's fair. I appreciate the criticism. And I think I can agree, actually. So I'm going to work on that.
Yeah, of course I freaking don't like long levels or like who are the top three players. But that turned out to be actually like a topic for discussion. To my surprise, I thought like, okay, top three players. We're like in a tank for like 5 years or something.
Yeah.
And then I discovered that a lot of people like think differently. I didn't know that. I didn't know that could be possible with the current top three. But okay, that's a valid question. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think something that's uncovered in redundant questions sometimes is like deeper stuff that isn't thought about as often. I guess, is there anyone that you want to shout out or give thanks to?
Yeah. Throughout the years, like the challenge community was like one big thing, and then it kind of split up. Like the challenge list is kind of dead nowadays. Nobody is kind of going for anything specific. We're just hanging out in small different communities. So I want to shout out my small little community, uh, Sado Mesa server, and then the other server, I and Annex and some other people made. Uh, Shout out to Chihuahua and especially Torn49 and Annex. You're the best. Keep up the good work. And also shout out for the great player Almaro in the challenge community. He's the GOAT, even though he doesn't think this. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the last thing I have is what do you have to say to the people out there who want to become pros maybe, or just out there grinding, trying to get better at the game?
So if your goal is to explicitly get better, like just I want to beat the hardest levels that this game has to offer, you must realize that hard work beats everything, and you want to play a lot of different levels to become good at every single skill set that is out there, to be able to beat the harder demons. So you should just listen to recommendations from similar players than you that are probably better, but not way better, because sometimes the best players out there, they don't know the difference between a hard demon and an insane demon. It's like dust to them. So just try asking players that are a couple steps ahead and keep their advice, and like and never stop to think stop yourself and think about it yourself, and then take the advice as well. In challenges, quantities over quality. That's like about it, and use the spreadsheets along the way.
All right. Hell yeah. Well, that is going to be the end of the interview, but huge thank you once again to OverGD for doing this interview with me. I had a great time once again. I just cannot thank everybody who's been involved with my videos enough. I swear this community is the best. But yeah, I also want to give a shout out to one of the guys over from the former Impossible Levels list. He goes by Goober, but I'll link the FILL channel in the description and put it on the screen here. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it and made it this far. This one is longer than the last one, which is just great. more long videos. But yeah, we got more interviews coming soon, so stay tuned for that. Peace.